On the 25th of May, 2025, all Africans in Ghana hit the street to walk with Traoré, a massive moment to stand in solidarity with the brave leaders of the Sahel Alliance.
So lovely family, as you can see behind me, this is a whole movement and it has started. The youth of Africa are saying that they want one Africa. The youth of Africa are saying that we want the resources to benefit us. The youth of Africa are saying that the resources of Africa belong to Africa and it should be able to benefit Africa. Alright, so lovely people, as you can see, this is the flag of America on the ground and being dragged by feet. I mean, brother man, why do you have the flag of America, the great America? I mean, hook on your leg.
They can be great in their continent, but in our continent, this is where they belong. They belong to the floor in our continent. But it is simple. This is our continent, and we decide what happens to us. They have no stake in our. They have no stake in our lives. As simple as that. That's
wow. So in their continent, they are great over there, but in Africa, this is where they belong. Wow, lovely people, this is solid, huh? My goodness, it looks like Africans are not happy with the United States, and I think Africa must unite. Africa must unite. That's all. Hands up! That's right. Africa must be. Africa must be free. 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 Africa must be free.
The whole thing is about uniting the whole of Africa, making Ibrahim Traoré understand that all of us are behind him. Whatever he is doing, everything he plans doing, anything he is even thinking of doing in the near 20 years, we are supporting him.
100%.
That is what we are making him understand.
100%.
And we want the Western world to understand a very simple language. Hands off that young man.
That's right.
Hands off that young man.
That's the message.
Whenever anything good comes into African being, they decide to just destroy it. They decide to rise against it. They decide to eliminate it. But this time around, we are telling them that we Ibrahim Traoré will always be with him, and we will always be with him. That is the message. That is the issue about this work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Respect. This is a statement. So this is a statement of unity. You understand? And today being the Africa Unity Day or Africa Union Day, it's just surprising to see that the numbers are increasing and increasing. So it means it's a time where nobody need to force you to join a movement. This is no longer the normal Africa must unite talk. This is action time. And you can see behind, you can see everybody is into this movement. And at least for the first time in the history of Africa, you see Africans, youths coming out to make a statement, regardless of their tribe, regardless of their political parties, regardless of their background, their religious affiliation, and we are making a statement, you know, together, doing something in common. I mean, it's so beautiful. So I think this is the time for it. You understand? And this is to tell Captain Ibrahim Traoré that the youth of Africa, we are behind him. Thank you so much.
Yes,
I can see you are very enthusiastic when it comes to what is happening here.
Yes, sir.
I know you are here to pass a message.
Yes.
Yeah, and I believe that your message, you have a message for the leaders,
right?
You have a message for the imperialists,
right?
And you have a message for the youth of Africa as well,
right?
So we want to hear that message.
So I'll start with my people, the youth of Africa.
Yeah.
And when I say the youth of Africa, I don't mean those on the continent alone. I'm talking about everyone on the continent and all African communities, especially in the diaspora. All of them are people. We are all Africans. So my message is to all Africans here, those on the continent and those abroad. This is a time we've been all praying for a very long time. In fact, The prayers of our ancestors was for a moment like this, where we'd have our people standing to fight to reclaim what is rightfully ours. So this is a moment where all Africans everywhere have to be really proud of and to get involved in. This is not about sending solidarity messages through social media alone, no. But solidarity here comes in so many forms. Physical presence in marches and activities like this is paramount, it's key. Continuing this conversation in your small corners, wherever you may be, is actually part of it. Supporting one another in dealing with this is another thing. But what we have to do is make sure you are involved one way or the other. Get involved directly by joining a revolutionary organization close to you. Study together. Let us organize in our communities. And let us send a strong message out to them that, look, this is a time where Africans are willing to stand to reclaim what is ours. We are not negotiating. We are not begging. We are reclaiming so we can reconstruct our nation. And this is a time where you cannot take the fence or be neutral about it. No. This is a time where we all have to get involved. To our leaders, if they are wise, they should read the signs and the times and get in line. Because this movement cannot be stopped. And anyone who likes to stand or tries to stand in the path of this movement will be crushed. The youth are not going to sleep this time. No. We've risen up. We are marching this time around. And we are saying the overall objective, which is the total liberation and the unification of this continent. The time is now for that, and we are not going to do anything else apart from this objective. So all the leaders who are not ready to form in line or to fall in line have to move aside. Now to the imperialists, to the enemies of the African people, and those who have decided to stop anything that is called progress for our people, our message is simple. Touch Traoré and see. That's just that. Respect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so do yours.
Boy! 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 When Thomas Sankara started the revolution, it started with a message which the imperialists hated so much. The message was in French, so he always goes like, "Les impérialistes." Then, okay, my people are here, so just follow them for me. Les impérialistes! Les impérialistes! Les impérialistes! La révolution! So when Thomas Sankara said les impérialistes, it means the imperialists. Then the people always respond, "I'm back." So it means that the imperialists should go down. And he will shout and said, "The revolution," which is la révolution. Then the people will shout "Aho," which means that the revolution should go up, the imperialists should go down. So les impérialistes, la révolution, la révolution. So he always ends his speech with "La patrie ou la mort," and then the people will respond "Nous vaincrons." It means that homeland or death, we will conquer. So if I say "La patrie ou la mort," you shout "Nous vaincrons." La patrie ou la mort? La patrie ou la mort? Yes, so this is the message that imperialists hated so much to the level where they have to take the man down. And today, it is not a surprising thing that this message is alive today in the mind of everybody and on the lips of everybody, which means that if you take one man down, you are going to have 1,000 people rising up speaking the same message. The message that they stopped, the message because of which Gaddafi was murdered. This same message is alive today, telling them that Africa is for Africans. The resources of Africa is for Africans. It does not belong to the United States. It does not belong to France. It belongs to Africa. And our leaders, since they have become so afraid of dying for the people, Ibrahim Traoré now put his life in the line, standing for his people. And we are ready to stand by Ibrahim Traoré. We are ready to stand by the revolution. We are standing by the revolution. And let me put this on record. Let me put this on record. What is happening in Burkina Faso, to all media houses, together with the traditional media house,
the Western imperial media houses, we are saying that what is happening in Burkina Faso is not coup d'etat, it's revolution. What is happening in Burkina Faso is not coup d'etat, it's liberation. It's leadership for the people and by the people. What African Union failed to do for the past so many years, one man, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, was able to do that by uniting Africa without calling meeting with anybody. We never had any conference. We never met in any conference room, but all of us, we are here today. Last time we did a protest, 30th, right? Yes. Nobody, Captain Ibrahim Traoré did not call for that protest, but we saw BBC posting it and putting it in their article that Ibrahim Traoré systematically organized that protest, which is a lie. We are telling them that it is the time, the season, the movement that called for the protest. At the same time, it is the time, the season, and the movement which is putting on this gathering. This gathering you are seeing here, as somebody says, it's not a contract. Nobody contracted us. We came on our own because we understand what is happening in the Sahel. What is happening in the Sahel is the rebirth of Africa. And African youth, we cannot allow it to go down. Because at the end of the day, if the revolution in the Sahel go down, Africa will never rise again. They will make sure that the place is completely destroyed, like what is happening in Congo. If ECOWAS and African Union, they have something to do when it comes to liberation of Africa, they should not channel their energy towards, Ibrahim Traoré, the Sahel. They should channel their energy towards Sudan. They should channel their energy towards Togo. They should channel their energy towards Congo. That is where the people need true liberation. The Burkinabe people, the Sahel people, they are already awakened. So African Union and ECOWAS, do your homework because the youth are not with you. Respect to the level where, those days when we have good leaders, there are people who, they design their own narrative and paint the leaders to us how they want us to view those leaders. But today, technology, thanks to technology, the message is everywhere. We have information everywhere. We today can tell which is the bad leader, which is the good leader. When we look at what is happening in the Sahel, the Western world attacking, trying to get to Ibrahim Traoré, it's not about the coup d'etat. Alright, they call it coup d'etat, but actual fact is revolution. It's not coup d'etat. You understand? What is happening in the Sahel is revolution. It's not coup d'etat. You understand? So it's awakening time. So it is not practically about the coup d'etat as they call it. It's just about assessing the resources of the country, because we have people who did coup d'etat in Gabon. There was coup d'etat in Gabon. Yeah, there was coup d'etat in Gabon, but nobody touched that man. So long as the man was like, oh, okay, no problem. France, you can have access to our critical minerals. You can have your military base. You can have your everything you are doing, all your businesses. Once they have access to the minerals, whether there is corruption in government, whatever, they don't care. So it is not about coup d'etat or democracy. It is about accessibility to our natural resources. And one thing they have to understand is that if you hate Africa, you must be ready to hate the resources of Africa. If you hate Africans, you must. If you don't love the black man, don't love his resources. So the message we are sending is very simple. They should not try to get to Traoré. And let me use this medium to send a message to the Western media. Let them know that we know the game they are playing. BBC, CNN, whatever. Especially, how they call it, France 24, Monde Afrique. No, look, we know exactly the game they are playing. This is no longer the days where we have them dictating and telling us which leader is the right leader, which leader is the bad leader. Today we can see for ourselves. The Western media always focus on the negative aspect of everything happening to paint our leaders black, but they always forget to mention in their coverage the good things that are happening in Burkina Faso. Today, under the democratic leadership in Burkina Faso, in the Sahel, no factory is in Burkina Faso. But today, what they call coup d'etat, there is factories we can see. Burkina Faso is producing vehicles. Burkina Faso, there is electric vehicle there. We have detergent factory, tomato processing factory, agriculture to make sure that the country is food sufficient. Today in Burkina Faso, I'm asking the people who are trying to go and do coup d'etat in Burkina Faso, who are you going to rule? Because all the people in the country, they are protecting their leader. I heard, even Odemaya went there and confirmed that on the streets, at every junction, there are people, actually, the young ones, they are sleeping outside, making sure that no harm comes to their leader. This is the first time in the history of Africa where the whole Africa rise up and say, hey, don't touch this man. The type of Gaddafi, what they do is that they use power to shut down the mouth of our leaders and use the media to manipulate the youth. No more. No more. And what they are seeing, what you are seeing behind me, it simply means that we are saying that the time where we have 2% of our cocoa, 2% of our bauxite, 2% of our gold, 2% of our mineral resources is over. We are taking control of our resources.
Africa national. It's very simple message to the world that this is not the time of Gaddafi. This is not the time of Thomas Sankara. This is not the time of Patrice Lumumba. This is not the time of my own leader, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. This is a different generation together. If that time the youth were sleeping because there was no media to inform them about whatever our good leaders are doing, today we have the media. We are not listening to BBC. We are not listening to the CIA. We are not listening to the CNN for them to come and give us fake news about good leaders in Africa. We are not sleeping. And we are telling them enough is enough. We are sending a warning to African leaders. They should remember 1963 in Ethiopia. The capital city of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. Told them, if we live here as a leaders and we don't have the United States of Africa, our children are going to continue to suffer. Our generation are going to continue to suffer because they were not able to listen to Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We are suffering and seeing it today, but we are telling them that with the help of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, with the son of the youth of Africa, that when you touch Captain Ibrahim Traoré, you touch the youth of Africa. When you touch Captain Ibrahim Traoré, you touch the soil of Africa. I was so disappointed when I see Donald Trump speaking to Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa. He's speaking to the president as his own biological son. And I said, how dare you, Donald Trump, to speak to an African leader? When you come to the land of Africa, you pick the natural resources of our land. Before we ride, we come there to come and suffer in your own land. Because our African leaders were not able to take a decision on their own. When the man was sitting down, I was crying on my eye. Donald Trump is not older than Ramaphosa. That 50, 72, 78. The range is only what? 6 years. So can you speak to your own colleague president as your own political son? No. Because we keep on having puppets in the land of African as leaders. So our leaders were not able to take a stand. If you cannot take the stand, Captain has come out that I will take the stand that you were not able to do. So just give me your support and we are going to have the freedom as a continent. There is nothing that we need from them. We have the gold, we have the diamond, we have the oil, we have the uranium. Our youth are still dying on the Mediterranean Sea because of white collar job. Our youth are still dying on the desert because they want to go and work in another man's land. Enough is enough. The land of Africa, enough is enough. We must unite. A lot of people are saying that the leaders of the ECOWAS, especially Tinubu and Co, they are all puppets of the West. And currently in Nigeria, the Nigerian government is saying that they want to make Nigeria one party state. You understand? So what is your take on that? Because many Nigerians are fighting this thing. And what is your take on it?
They are not trying to make the country one party state, but they are trying to hijack Nigeria. That's what they are trying to do. That same hijack happened in Togo recently, when the president of Togo actually created to skip the issue of you have been in power for a long time. The president systematically connived with his cabinet members, and they created a more powerful office than the president. So what they did was that they offload all the powers of the presidency and load it into the new office created, and he's operating there and he's going to be there forever. You understand? So they are trying to hijack the country. It is not a one party state. And when we say these people are the puppet of the West. It is not just a statement, it's a fact. These are people who always dance to the tune of the West. Anytime the Western powers pull the trigger. These are leaders who cannot stand in front of the Western powers and tell them that, look, hands up our mineral resources. They cannot sit down at the table and make proper deal that will benefit the people. These people, they are there whenever they go to the meetings and whatever they go to go and sign deals. They have a dollar in their pocket. But Ibrahim Traoré is the only leader today that got up and said, France, you need to leave this country. United States, your military base needs to vamoose. Oh yes. Our resources, we are reclaiming it. These are the things we are talking about sovereignty. So this is revolution. Democracy, and under normal circumstances, democracy is not a bad thing. But the truth is that the way it was presented to us, it was presented to us in a package. They packaged it in a deceptive box, systematically. And the democracy we are practicing in Africa is shielding the political class, corruption, and benefiting them of our resources while the masses suffer. So, what is happening in Burkina Faso? That is real democracy, freedom for people.
So, brother, we are all fighting. Open their eyes and look at what is happening in other parts of the continent, like Congo, like what is happening in Nigeria. Like I just asked you right now, what is happening in Congo? Because our people and the media are not sure anything about what is happening in Congo and what is happening in Sudan right now. So, what are you telling our people out there?
The reason why our media houses are not saying anything about Congo is because these media houses are being ranked by the imperialists. Their awards are coming from them. So if you go too much that direction, it's like you are coming against them, which means that your award that you have been receiving, you are not going to receive those awards again. So our media houses are being bought. That is just a fact. You understand? The issue of Congo, the Congolese government know what is happening. The Western imperialists, they know what is happening in Congo. They know they created a situation there. Had it been that Patrice Lumumba is still alive, they didn't take him out, Congo would have been the richest country in the world, not in Africa. So the mess in Congo is created by the same people who want to go to Burkina Faso and fight Traoré.
Yes. Like, the people of Burkina Faso, like exactly the French colony and the Americans battling with Russia, do you think it's a helpful?
So it is about mutual benefit. So it is about mutual benefit. You understand? Burkina Faso or Ibrahim Traoré or the people in the Sahel, they are not partnering with Russia because they are switching mastership. No, it's about respect, mutual respect. It's about better collaboration, better deal. If I'm dealing with this man, I realize that I'm not respected and the deals are not favoring my people. I have my right to switch alliance. You understand? So it is not because they are changing and the issue of mastership. No, it's about alliance. It is not about joining Russia. It's about signing deals and then making proper deals because we are no longer in the unipolar war. Okay, the unipolar war where the Western world have the upper hand. You can only deal with the United States. You can only deal with the West. It's over. These days, it's like a market. You are looking for market. You have Russia there. You have China there. Are you aware that even if our military in Ghana right now, we want to acquire certain weapons, the Western world or the Western powers prohibit us from accessing certain weapons, even if you have the resources to buy it. Meanwhile, they come here, take the resources from us, create the weapons, and stop us from using it. But China wants to have the money to buy. They give it to you. That is respect. Last time, our leaders went to African USA meeting. Okay, when they went there, they came back complaining that they load them in a bus like a school children. They disrespected them. They were not even able to have access to Joe Biden. By that time, Joe Biden was there. Respect. They came back, all of them were complaining. But Traoré went to Russia recently. You see how he was? Yes, he was invited as a distinguished guest. The first time in the history of Africa, a leader whose security was prioritized among all the leaders in the world was coming from Africa. Yes. So that is the respect we are talking about. You and I, we can have a deal. You and I, we can have a deal. But if you respect me more, we can have a long way to go. Yes. You understand? So that is what it is.
So what does this work mean?
It means a lot. You know, it is a statement, okay, to the rest of the world. This actually is contributing a lot to the fight of to African liberation. Because when you look at how the former leaders were being taken down, it is because the people are not awake. Yes. And those who are awake, they were very few and they don't have the medium. You understand? So since they don't have the medium, the imperialists used the platform to manipulate the larger part of the majority, and then they went in and they took Gaddafi. Kwame Nkrumah was gone. But today we are so knowledgeable. You understand? Information is everywhere. So we are also using the media to tell them that my friends stay there. Yes. So this is actually contributing a lot to the fight.
So yes. This is the first and the last time this is going to happen.
It's going to continue so long as the unity of Africa and the liberation of Africa is concerned.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So what's your take on the AES joining together and moving their borders and making one state? What's your take on it?
That you know, there's power in unity. Okay, yes. So there is power in unity. What is happening there is a bond that cannot be broken. It means that if you go and you want to attack Burkina Faso, you are going to fight 3 people. Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. If you go and you are going to attack Mali, you are going to fight 3 people. You understand? So it's a statement and then a medium to come together and build a stronger alliance for unity. You understand? And we expect other Africans to join, because the ECOWAS, African Union, right now, they have become so useless. They can see it themselves that the youth are not with them, especially ECOWAS. The youth are not with you. It's either you reform that organization or you break it down and do something else. For now, the youth are not with you, and that is the sign behind me. I'm not the one saying it. Yeah. You have a question?
Oh yeah.
So at the end of the day, what is happening? So at the end of the day, what is happening here? It simply means that Africa is awakening. You understand? There are a lot of people who understand what is going on, but the medium was not there those days. But today we are using our media to express what we want, to say that we want the unity of Africa. And today being the African Unity Day, we are saying that all the borders need to be removed. We need the United States. The United States did not start just as United States. We are talking about something. How many states that came together and they formed the United States? And these states came together and unite against any unity Africa. The only message the imperialists want to hear is to hear anything about African unity. They don't want to hear it. Why? Because if Africa unite and you are coming to sign a deal with Ghana, if Africa unite and you are coming to sign a deal with Ghana, it means that you have to go according to the conduct and the mining code of Africa, not Ghana. If we have US or Europe Africa Summit, we are going to have 3 representatives where they can be able to speak with one voice for all Africa. One of the reasons why our leaders, whenever they go to these meetings, their voices are not heard. Their voices don't make wave across the media, is because all of you 50-something people, and you are saying different things. Imagine you have a representative and then they speak with one voice. That is 54 states speaking together. That is why the United States will always have their hands or their words so powerful over all the other how do you call it, countries in Africa and the continent. Because we are talking, if the United States speaks, we are talking about 50-something states. It's a powerful statement. But you, Ghana, you cannot go there and use your word to override 54 people. It doesn't work like that. Which is the reason why we need to come together. What is happening in Congo, if we are to unite, that thing wouldn't have been happening. We can contribute our forces together and then battle that. Last time we hear respect.
Even in school, when it is time to let the reference to statistical data, we say in the US.
Bless up. Respect. So, lovely family, as you can see behind me, this is a whole movement and it has started.